Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I got a really beautiful day. I got some amazing company, and I'm talking about the sun. Some incredibly fresh air. It just feels good just to be here and just breathe it in and feel good and appreciate it, love it. Just some really great appreciation going on here. And I want to share with you some of my enthusiasm and my passion and a little bit of what I've been thinking about. This video is going to be about water. And it's not just going to be any old water video. I'm going to leave you with some things to really think about and consider in terms of how important water is and how you use water from here on out going into the future. You know, water seems like a really simple topic, but it's deep. It's important. Why is it important? I'll throw a few facts at you to kind of put this into perspective before I go any further. You already know about these things, but I'll say them anyway. When we dehydrate, when you think about your intelligence, your IQ, and your cognitive abilities, your nervous system's ability to process information, it decreases when we dehydrate. Water's a big deal. And in terms of physical fitness, our body's capacity to do work, dehydration diminishes that. And thinking along the lines, bigger picture, thinking about aging. One of the biggest differences between an infant and a person about to die of old age is hydration. I don't know the exact numbers, but they say that an infant is like 90% water. And a person that's lived a long life and they're approaching the end, they're like 50, 60, 50, some very low number. That's the amount of water that they still are. So I guess the way you could look at it is that they die of dehydration. That's an oversimplified way of putting it, but I'm just stating the importance of water and hydration. Now, in life, a lot of things dehydrate us. And, it's not just the common sense things that we know about, like not drinking enough water. Because, you can drink too much water. Sometimes drinking too much water dehydrates you. And also, you make water in your body through your diet, through having healthy mitochondria. Mitochondria make water, and the water they make is not normal water. It's special water. That water is really important and unique, and it's not the same water that we know water as it is. And also our environments, especially nowadays, like the past 20 years. In the past 20 years, our environment has made an incredible, drastic change. And I'm talking about the information age. This information age and, communications, cell phone, internet, it has made a huge environmental change for us. And the environmental change that I'm talking about is dehydration. It's turning the world into more of a microwave. All this excessive energy being sent, it's turned the world into a microwave. And a simple way that you can kind of check and see how much microwaving action is happening in your environment is to take out your cell phone and check and see how many Wi-Fi networks that are around you. If there's like 50 plus Wi-Fi networks, take care of your business and get out of there. Find a cleaner, nicer, cleaner place. Because just because you can't see it, don't make it good. Now, if you got like, 2 or 3 networks, okay, not bad. But ideally, you want none, if that's possible. Where I'm at right now, there's none. But when I go home, there'll probably be 1, 2. Not bad. So, my whole point with all that, hydration isn't just drinking water. It's a lot of other factors. Okay, so let me go into the video. This video, I'm going to talk about a way to make our water more energetic, or remove the low energetic portion of the water to give us a higher quality water to drink. And I'm also going to talk about things that we can eat that hydrates the body way better than just simply drinking water. So let me lay the foundation down about water first before I go any deeper into what I'm going to talk about. Let's start with the 3 phases of water. 3 well-known phases of water that we all know about pretty well are gas, liquid, and solid. And in order for water to change states, it requires an energy exchange. It can absorb energy or it can lose energy. And whether it absorbs or loses energy, it changes the state of water. And this affects us. We can use this energy in our bodies to improve our health and give us better hydration. Now, why is this important? Why am I talking about the energy that goes into water when it changes states? Well, let's go to talking about when liquid turns into solid or ice. Let's talk about what happens, because the devil is in the details. When liquid water turns into solid ice, the phase changes again. There's actually a 4th phase. And I learned this from Dr. Gerald Pollack, a water guru, a water scientist who just has dedicated his entire life to studying water. But there's a 4th phase of water in between the liquid and the solid phase. And he calls it the, what's the name he gave to it? It's a transitional phase. And he called it exclusion zone or exclusion water. So when the water's going from liquid to ice, this exclusion zone water, it's different. And how is it different? It's different because in this phase, it has the ability to strongly absorb 270 nanometer light. And I'll explain why that's important in a moment, and I'll I'll show you the electromagnetic spectrum and kind of talk about that with you in a moment to show you and illustrate how important that is. So, in order for water to become ice or water to organize and become more of a crystal, it has to absorb energy. The energy is what organizes it and makes it more crystalline. You know, crystals absorb lots of energy. And when water absorbs this light, this energy, some really cool things happen. The small water molecules, they begin to bunch together and just organize because they have the energy to do so. They begin to bunch together and organize. And then they begin to push out the impurities and the low energetic parts of the water. So the water begins to separate. It begins, remember I called it exclusion zone water. It begins to exclude the low energy parts of it. And keep this in mind because I'm going to explain to you a little bit later how you can energize your water using this principle, using this idea, you know, by knowing about these energetic laws. Here's an article that's relevant to what I've been talking about. In this article, it states, you know, take a minute to read it if you need. It states about Dr. Gerald Pollack, the water guru, his work, where he mentioned how water turns to ice. There's a transitional phase between water to ice. And in this transitional phase, it strongly absorbs 270 nanometer light. 270 nanometers is in the UVC range, which is toxic to us. But it's UV light, and UV light is highly energetic, and it does lots of work if it can be utilized by a biological system, which UVC can't be utilized by our biological system, at least not on any big scales. But anyways, the UVB range is the main range that we use for healing and regeneration. The UVB ranges from 280 to 380. But the portion of the UVB range is at the end, the upper end, 280. From 280 to, sorry, not 280, but 380 to 415 is where we make our vitamin D. That's the main energetic healing range for us. Here I'm showing you the electromagnetic spectrum. Here, if you look at the visible light range, this is the range of light that we can see. And if you go to the edges, like around 400, this is the UV range. And the UV range at the end is the main healing spectrum of light. It's the area where we do the most healing. And also, if you look on the other end, it's the infrared portion. The infrared portion, it's really important too. Like 42% of the sun is infrared light, and UVB, a very small percentage of UVB gets put out to us through the sun. So the infrared's more important, but the UV is the main healer. And also at the ends of this spectrum, it also becomes invisible. These are the parts that we cannot see. The edge of the infrared and the edge of the UV. So back to what I was talking about when I was discussing with you about exclusion zone water and how that whole thing works. Here's a way to clean your water out, give your water more energy. And what I'm talking about as far as cleaning your water out, you know, depending on where you are, you know, you may have fluoride in your water, or you may have like some type of halogen in your water, chlorine, you know, these different things that they use to clean water out. And all of these things, they're on the periodic table. They're on the same row. They're called halogens, and what they do is they decrease the energy of water. And there are some other reasons that they're bad for you, but I'm just talking about it from an energetic point of view. They decrease the energy of water. So if you want to purify your water even more, you want to get rid of halogens and things, lower energetic parts of water. You could use the principle of what I just talked about, exclusion zone water. You use that whole concept to purify your water, and it's really simple. And following that concept, basically what you would do is just, all you need is a freezer. You take your water, preferably some water that's already been purified, that's been purified already. I guess bottled water. You make it basically, if you want to make bottled water better, you take it, you freeze it maybe 80, 90%. And the part that's going to freeze first, remember, it takes energy to freeze water. To go from liquid to solid, it takes energy. And the high energy parts of the water is going to freeze first. So you want to freeze your water about 80%, and then you want to get rid of the rest of the water. The rest of the water should have the lowest energy parts of water. You get rid of that. And you melt your water down and you drink that. And that's one way you could get rid of the lower energetic parts of your water, like the fluoride and things like this. I saw a video some years ago on YouTube about deuterium depleting water, and they talked about it like this. They explained it like this, but they didn't go into like an in-depth detail like I'm doing now in explaining it. And I hope this makes sense to you. So that's one way to make your water a little bit better and a lot more energetic. I think we don't pay attention to water enough. I think it should be paid as much attention as we pay to our diets. We should be paying this same amount of attention to water, because water, in the end, almost everything is water. So now I'm going to continue on by talking about a non-liquid way to hydrate. And there's other ways to hydrate than drinking water. Water isn't the only way to hydrate. There's actually some better ways to hydrate. And what I'm going to talk about here is gel. Using gels or eating gels. Gel is a fifth phase of water. I've talked about 4 different phases of water so far. I talked about the liquid, water, solid, and I talked about the transition phase between the liquid and the solid. Now, the 5th phase I'm talking about now is gel. And what is gel? What is the gel phase? All right, let's talk about the gel phase for a minute. Now, the gel phase of water. Most plants have that gel phase of water, especially on the outside, the part that helps them absorb the light, absorb the sun. And especially like the leafy vegetables. They're made of like gels. And also gels are inside of our cells. Inside of our cells is a gel. It's not really water, it's a gel. And the outside of our cells, it's more of a water, not necessarily a gel. And gels are very, very, they they carry energy really, really well. Gels are superconductors. And I'll just kind of go into an A side here about gels because I just thought about it. Uh, a lot of us think about being able to handle the sun and absorbing the sun as just being, oversimplified way of looking at it is a, a fair skin, dark skin thing. And, we all know, whether we know it instinctively or otherwise, that it goes way deeper than that. Because you can have a fair skinned person who's very well hydrated and they're going to deal with the sun better because they're hydrated than if you have a person with the dark skin that's all dried up. They're not going to be able to handle the sun well. So it's a combination of factors. It's not just, it's not that oversimplified. It's not just a melanin, no melanin thing. So I want to look at it from, all these different angles, not just this one-sided viewpoint. It's way more complicated than that. So, yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, gels. So gels carry energy pretty well. Gel is a superconductor. Gel is a superconductor. And what are some examples of gels being a superconductor? Now, if you've ever gone to a hospital before and you got your heart checked, I hope you haven't, but if you've gotten your heart checked, they use a device, I think it's ECG or EEG, not exactly sure, but they use a device, they put it on your chest, and they look inside your body by sending a signal through your body. And in order to send a signal through your body, in order to do it well, your body has to be able to conduct and absorb that signal. So what they use is they put gel on your skin in order to send that energy through your body to get that image on their screen so they can see your heart and see the condition of it. And also, if you're pregnant, they use a sonogram. I think it's called a sonogram, and they can look at the baby through this, and they put the gel on your stomach first before they do this. It's because the gel is a superconductor. So gel is a superconductor. And gels are, in order to be a superconductor, it has to be electrolyte rich. Electrolytes help water to carry the energy and move the energy through it. You just can't have water without an ability to move the energy through it. And that's when electrolytes come into play. So gel is a very, very, very electrolyte rich solution. And where do we get gels from? Now, if we think about the diet and where we get gels from, eating vegetables is a great way to get more gels in our diet, specifically the non-starchy vegetables, like the leafy vegetables. Leafy vegetables are pretty much just almost all gel. And it's just, gel is just, basically an electrolyte rich solution. So eat your vegetables. And when you make a soup, you have your lots of leafy vegetables in your soup. You turn that soup into just an electrolyte rich solution. It's more than, you have water in it, but it's turned to a super electrolyte solution. And your hydration is just way better. I always feel wonderful after I eat a good low starch soup. And one of my favorite soups to make is seaweed soup. Once you find things to Once you find a way to flavor it, make it taste good for you, based on your palate, seaweed soup. And another one of my favorite jail foods, and a lot of people don't even consider it food. They consider it like a skin product or a healthcare product. Is aloe vera. Aloe vera, you can eat it. It's very edible, and it's a super hydrator. It's electrolyte rich. I've made a video on it. I went into some details about it, and I'll leave the link below if you want to check that out. But aloe vera, actually, most desert uh, desert plants, they're in an environment where there's minimal rainfall. A lot of those plants are gel plants. They really need an electrolyte solution. They really have to be able to absorb and use energy in the most efficient way possible. And aloe is, in these families. It's in, these families. So, and it's a gel plant, and it's an excellent way to hydrate. You know, we're very aware of, we put it on our skin to protect our skin, and that's part of the reason why. I just talked about just a moment ago about color, the color, the tone of your skin not being just everything. Hydration is a major part of that, and we use aloe for skincare, but a lot of people don't consider it as a source of nutrition and eating it. And also your digestive system needs to be cared for, just like your skin needs to be cared for. And I've been drinking it for years. It's pretty good. On and off. I'm trying to drink it more now. I've taken some time off, but aloe. So basically, jail. Jail is a very super way to hydrate, because gel is a very super electrolyte rich solution. So I'll end my video here, and I hope you took something from it. And I'd like to know what you think and what you know. I want to pick your brain as well. And just another water video. And I plan to make more in the future. And yeah, that's all I have. So I love you. I hope you are appreciating everything, and just being thankful for everything. Life is beautiful. I hope you see it that way too. Y'all take care. I'm gone.